So today I'm going to share with you 10 signs that you're being initiated into your feminine energy. And so this is all of the signs that I experienced on my journey when I was shifting into living more for my feminine core energy and doing the feminine energetic work that I needed to do. These are all the signs that I had at the beginning of my journey and still some to this day. So hopefully these signs will help you understand this journey more and really help you on your own feminine healing journey. Hello, my name is Anastasia. I'm a feminine holistic healer and mentor, and on this channel I talk about self-development, feminine energetics, and spiritual growth, and so much more. And I share my story. I give you all the knowledge that I know, and I talk about it all on this channel. So if you haven't joined my channel, if you haven't liked the video yet, like the video and join me on this channel. And let's get into today's video. So remember that this is a spiritual journey. This is a lot of spiritual stuff will happen, a lot of spiritual initiations. And personally, this is what I had to go through on my journey. So I'm going to be sharing the signs that I had to go through that, you know, like when I was initiated into being in my feminine energy more. So we're going to get into all of them now. One of the signs is that you're receiving random flowers. That is probably one of the signs as well. So the first sign that, you know, you're being initiated into your feminine, besides receiving flowers from the universe to your door, is that life slows down a lot. Okay, so for myself, I began my journey in 2020 and my life was never the same after that. I was forced to go into my feminine energy. I had to finish up old projects. I was an interior decorator at the time, and I was working on being an interior decorator and really setting up that business. And then plus I had another business that I was working on setting up, which I couldn't do because of the pandemic. So I had to stop all my projects, and basically, you know, that was the end of it. And so I had to wrap everything up, and life really slowed down for me. You know, life was really slowing down, and you may feel like it's so boring, things are so slow, nothing is happening, or, you know, just the old stuff that you were doing, your old routine is now not really there anymore. Like, you're not doing the same thing you were doing, you know, and you're in a whole new routine, which may be a lot slower. You may not be doing a lot. There may not be a lot of action. When you go into feminine healing, it's not about doing a whole lot. Life becomes more about flow and ease and not a lot of action, right? A lot of the action we take, or that I take now, is more inspired action. So it's different. So life really does slow down a lot. When you start going into your feminine healing, it's really about having a slower paced life altogether. And that's really what this process is all about. And I just want to say that it doesn't mean that your life is going to be slow forever. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to be, you know, very slow. Things are going to be slow all the time, and you know, nothing's gonna happen in your life anymore. It's just a phase in your life where you need to go inwards more to do some of the deeper inner work that you need to do. And that's basically what it's about, right? Like, it's not about, you know, having, you know, going and in that old paradigm, which we were stuck in for a long time. We were stuck in the old paradigm of going, doing. And we're really shifting out of that. We're going into a higher existence, more in alignment to our feminine energy, and living from a place of flow and surrender. And that's exactly what we are getting back into. And that's why life will seem like it's very slow when you get initiated into your feminine. So number 2 is that a lot of density and pain is surfacing in your lower chakras. So this was the process for me. You might be experiencing a lot of density coming up for you to heal, because the second chakra is where we connect into our feminine energy, and that is where our feminine energy is blocked. That is our pain body. And what we're doing is we're actually activating that chakra. We're releasing all the pain, all the stored density that is in there, and we are feeling it. It's coming up for you to feel, right? All of these lower 3 chakras are what we've been functioning in, and the second chakra is the pain body. This is where a lot of our emotions are stored, and we need to be addressing this second chakra. And this is really the main chakra for healing and activating and aligning to your feminine. And then you align to higher chakras, you start to align more to your heart, because you can't align to your heart when you have blockages in all of these lower chakras. And you kind of have to clear all that and then come into your heart. And the feminine energy is all about existing more from the heart, from really being connected more in your heart. And that is really what you're getting back into through this process. So the density, all the purging, all the pain that you're maybe experiencing in this area is coming up for you to heal and feel, right? We heal it by feeling it. So for me, I went into a phase where I was feeling a lot of density in my second chakra. A lot of purging had to happen for me to release everything from there, because it was very much, I was feeling a lot of pain, and I was activated in July actually of 2020. A lot of my spiritual initiations happen in July, and that's very strange, but it's kind of been a pattern where I am activating a lot in July, and there's a lot of things that are activating to get me to the next level. So I've seen kind of this pattern in my journey. And so when I initially had been activated on this journey, it was July 2020, and I just remember I felt straight away a lot of pain in my second chakra coming up, and a lot of emotional stuff coming up, and I had to basically vanish. Like, I had to take a lot of time off. I even, I had to even, I had to isolate myself, and I stopped using social media. I just didn't even want to be on social media, to be honest with you. I felt like I needed to get away. So I took about a month or 2 off of, I just like, being with myself. And that's exactly what, I was doing to really clear and heal that space, my second chakra. I was really feeling like a lot of density was coming up for me, and there was a lot of abdominal pain and discomfort. So even after eating food, there was a lot of IBS, a lot of symptoms were coming up because of the emotional pain that was ready to be released. And a lot of IBS and all these abdominal things that we experience in terms of pain and discomfort, and any gastrological issues are related to your second chakra, the pain body. This is where it is, like, this is your gut, right? So a lot of emotions get stored in the gut that we're not releasing, that we're not processing, and that's what it leads, and that's what it manifests into actual physical problems and physical symptoms. So that's exactly why, we have a lot of these abdominal pain. For women, it's very common because we actually have a lot of blockages in the second chakra that we're not addressing and that we have to heal. So during this time, you're going to be healing that. And the thing is, we have so much body baggage, but it's fat, mainly around here. And it's kind of a protective layer. You may have noticed that. Maybe you don't have that. But for me, I had a lot of I was always kind of bloated around here, and I didn't know why. And after I healed my second chakra, I really felt like my stomach was there wasn't any more bloating. My stomach was flatter, and there wasn't any of this extra baggage that I had around here before I healed and started really doing the emotional work. So we store even a lot of it. We store around here, which is mainly energetic. And I know this definitely was the case for me. I had a lot of stored energy here, and when I released that, I actually felt lighter. I even lost weight. I never was overweight or anything, or nothing like that. It's just that I had bloating sometimes in this area, and it was more of this sense that there was some kind of blockage, and the area here in my second chakra was really kind of blocked up. And even when I healed it, I could feel that there was a sense of energy coming in to the second chakra. You will feel it. You'll feel like a sense of even like a heartbeat coming into your area here, which is what I felt. And I've never felt that before. Like, I felt it actually was activated on that level. So this could be something that you're experiencing as well right now. In terms of your feminine healing, it's a very spiritual process, and it's about actually shifting your energetic blueprint. It's not just about, you align to your feminine. It's not a mindset shift. It's an energetic shift to embody more of your core energy, to step into your feminine, because we, as like, our energetic blueprint is not balanced, it's not healed, it's not, we're not in balance in our polarities, and that is why we have these energetic imbalances within us, especially to do with the masculine and feminine energies. So this is the process of realigning that and really reconnecting back into your core feminine energy, and that is what you're doing by healing and doing this emotional work. So number 3 is that you are spending more time in nature or isolating. Like for me, I was in an isolation phase basically at the beginning of my journey, and this is when I began my feminine healing. I really felt like I wanted to be more alone, and of course it was the pandemic. I couldn't see anybody. I was just spending a lot of time alone, going out in nature, going for walks. I implemented journaling as part of a healing practice for myself, and journaling became this way for me to really express my emotions and really just connect with myself and really feel my emotions through. So I was just like, journaling was the thing for me. Like, I was journaling 24/7, like writing down everything. I had so many journals I went through, but that's okay. Like, journal your thoughts, emotions, get them out. This is a very therapeutic way and really great way to move through this process of healing your feminine and healing your pain body, healing all the emotions that we have stored in here in our second chakra, healing all of that, processing all of that, and really coming to a place where you feel that you have, healed all of that through the journaling practice, because you need practices to help you through this time, because it's a very intense period and you need ways to really move through all of this, right? Because you're moving through a lot. Like, you're moving through past life traumas, ancestral stuff. A lot of heavy stuff could be coming up for you when you're doing feminine healing work, because a lot of it is linked to your DNA, and a lot of it is, things that you store in your cellular memory that is coming out, that is purging out, that you need to release. And this is exactly what this process is, and you will be spending a lot of time really going inwards and figuring out ways to actually process all of this is really great. And for me, it was really going in nature, meditating. I was getting out more. Like, in nature was my healing. Like, I healed myself in nature. I was spending almost every day in nature. I was now not so much. Now I have other things that I have to do during the day, but at that time I had a lot of time, and I was journaling, I was going out in nature, I was eating right, I was getting into wellness, getting into cooking healthy food, learning more about my body, really getting into holistic ways of healing myself. And that was the time that I really started to reconnect and understand myself, understand my body, understand what it needs. And that is exactly how I moved through this really hard period. But it allowed me to reconnect myself in ways that I never have, and understand myself in ways that I never have, and understand that I love nature and that I love cooking and wellness and holistic practices. And this is when I really started to get into all of this. And that was the breaking point for me to really reconnect back in that deeper way to my feminine energy, which is all about that. Your feminine is all about, that sensuality, getting back into the present moment, enjoying nature, enjoying connecting with your emotions, cooking, doing all these activities that are very, nurturing even for yourself and nurturing for your soul. and allowing you then to kind of move through this very intense energetic process that you're going through to align back to your feminine. So number 4 is that the old is crumbling. So the old life that you built before is really, coming to an end, and you are being initiated into a higher timeline. So this is very much what is happening during this process. For me, this was exactly what was happening. I had to close old projects down. I was working in, the decor industry, and I wanted to do another business, but that didn't work out for me because I was initiated into this higher version. I had to shut everything down, had to leave that old identity, and that is what happened with me. The old was really crumbling, and my ego didn't like that. But it wasn't really up to my ego, it was more up to my soul growth and what my soul had chosen for my path. And so this is exactly what happened with me, is that I just felt like, the old was crumbling. I was very lost. I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil, purging. I was a hot mess, basically, to say it in a nutshell. And, this is exactly, what you may be going through when you're going through this higher initiation into your feminine. The old ways of doing things are ending for you, and you're shifting into higher ways of doing things. And this is not easy. And so for me, it was really having to leave that old way of doing things and the old paradigm behind, and shifting into the new version of myself, the new embodied version, the high versions of myself. So this leads me to number 5, which is the dark night of the soul. So you may be experiencing the dark night of the soul, which is basically when your old identity is crumbling and you are, shifting from your old identity into higher versions of yourself. So this is really the dark night of the soul, and this is part of the process where you're really shedding that ego layer of yourself, which is very important in this journey, because you cannot embody your feminine and be in your feminine power with your ego still running your show, running your life, because you really can't be in your ego and be in your feminine. It just doesn't work. The two paradigms don't work and don't mix, because your ego is constantly all about being in your head, and your feminine wants you to flow and trust the universe and surrender. Those two just don't mix together. So what you're doing is you're aligning to higher versions of yourself that are allowing you then to trust the universe, and that then you will be able to be initiated several times to actually understand that you can trust the universe, that the universe is there supporting you, and that everything does work out for you. And the universe is really you, like your energy, right? So it's not about someone outside of yourself. It's about you actually radiating that energy, you being on your path that you've chosen, and that being supported, that path unfolding naturally for you, and that path being supported. That's what it is. You are constantly supported on this journey. There is no, ways about it. You're always supported, but part of the journey is really shedding the identity that you hold in, attaching yourself to these old paradigm structures, this old way of living your life. And really being in your feminine is all about letting go a lot and trusting and surrendering. And these are higher states of consciousness, higher states of existing. And you can't be in these higher states of being when you're constantly in this rat race and in the ego mind and going and living basically in the mind, right? Because you're not going to be able to enjoy the moment. You're not going to be able to be present. That's not going to happen when you're constantly in your ego and you still have a lot of emotions to get through, the shadow body, when you still need to address the shadow body. Then you're going to be finding yourself stuck in the ego, stuck in the mind, stuck in hustling, doing, and you're not going to be able to access these higher states of consciousness and awareness, which is the feminine energy. The feminine energy is a higher state of being. It's about flowing. It's about receiving. It's an energetic realignment on all levels, right? And so it's not just about being in that mindset of I'm in my feminine energy. No, it's an actual energetic shift. And anyone online telling you you just do all these things and that's how you realign to your feminine. It's more than that. You actually have to energetically shift your whole being, and part of it is really doing this inner work, doing the inner deeper work that we don't want to do, that a lot of people are not ready to do. And this is why our polarities are so distorted on the planet and have been distorted on the planet for so long. They are very much distorted on the planet right now because our polarities are not balanced and we're not actually living from our core energy. Women, especially the feminine principle, the feminine aspect, has been very damaged, and women are not in touch with that true divine nature, which is their feminine power, which is all of these higher states of being, which is flowing, which is trusting in the universe, really surrendering, really being in that present moment and going life with a state of flow rather than that constantly hustling and being in your masculine, being productive all the time. So that kind of goes out of the window because you are, like I said, shifting your whole energetic blueprint into these higher states of awareness and consciousness that we haven't been able to access before, but these are our natural ways to be in. This is more living connection with your heart, and the heart is where you really start to reconnect back to your feminine power, your feminine energy. And that's something that I've been really struggling with for a long time, because since last year my heart has been like expanding so much. Like I have been like in this process of really activating and connecting back to my heart, and I never could because it was so blocked. And for a lot of us, we're not living in our heart, right? We're not living from our heart. And I go to this energy healing place where I do energy healing work, and the main focus of that group, the main focus of this yoga practice that I go to and I do my energy healing there is realigning back to your heart. But we have to kind of understand what that really means, because we say let's align back to our heart. The practice is to align back to our heart, but it's so hard to do that for a lot of people because they're energetically not there. They're energetically disconnected from this chakra here, the fourth chakra. And that's because we're not connected at all. Like our energy has been suppressed, and all these lower chakras need to be first unblocked before we can get into the heart. When you're going through the dark night of the soul, you're shedding layers of yourself, you're shedding your old identity. You may have identified as something before. For me, I identified myself as I'm this amazing entrepreneur now, and I'm going to be doing all these other businesses. I have a decor business, but I ended up having to close that chapter of my life. I ended up having to close all of that and start something completely new. Is it something that is still part of my identity right now? Yes, it is, because it has led me here. It's still something that I have gifts and talents for, but I have shifted into a higher space that I can use all these gifts and talents and everything and skills that I've learned to now do what I'm doing now. So it's never that you're doing something before that didn't serve you. It all did serve a purpose. That's what it's all about. And for me, it was really about letting go of those layers of myself, that identity of myself before, and then actually, really stepping into this higher version of myself. And that's what I have been doing with this feminine healing and really this dark night of the soul, which isn't just a one-time thing. It can happen many times on this journey. So number 6 is that your menstrual cycle is affected. So the menstrual cycle is really linked to your feminine energy and feminine power. If your menstrual cycle is painful, if your menstrual cycle is, there's a lot of PMS symptoms, you have reproductive issues, then that is directly linked to your feminine energy and whether your feminine energy is actually out of balance or not. I talked about this before in many of my actual podcast episodes and one of my YouTube videos. And this is all about, your menstrual cycle is the time when you release a lot of emotions get purged and released during your menstrual cycle. And a sign that you're starting to heal your feminine is that it could be that your menstrual cycle is actually more intense, more amplified, that you experiencing a lot more PMS symptoms. That is something that happened with me. My menstrual cycle was very painful for a long time, very, very painful, until I started to really do the feminine healing work. And now my menstrual cycle has really, now it's not painful at all. Like now I have a normal period where there is no pain at all. And so this could be something that you are experiencing as well, where your menstrual cycle is heightened in terms of the pain and you're having a lot more PMS. This could be a sign that you are healing your feminine energy and that everything is getting released through your menstrual cycle, through the shedding, through the PMS, right? PMS is very much to do with the emotional healing that we have to do, the emotional purging that we have to do. So this is very normal, and you know, just make sure you're getting checked out for anything to do with medical. But if you're going through intense spiritual upgrades, your menstrual cycle will be affected. So number 7 is emotional instability. So emotional instability is a big sign that you're healing your feminine, that you're being initiated into your feminine. And of course, because you're going through a lot of emotional purging, a lot of emotions are coming up. You're on an emotional, basically, roller coaster. A lot of density is coming up. A lot of things are being cleared and purged. And this can be things that are in your cellular memory, in your ancestral line, that you're purging for your ancestors, that you're releasing. You know, there's a lot of healing that is not even yours, that's just in your physical body that you're releasing, right? So this is something that happens, and you are very emotionally unstable because your emotions are not stable. And so this is very much what it is, because you're purging all of it out. So this is one sign that you are going through feminine healing, is that there is a lot of healing happening internally. There's a lot of things releasing. There's a lot of things being triggered. So that is all normal and part of this process of releasing. So number 8 is that the moon cycle amplifies your feminine healing and amplifies your emotions and causes an opportunity to heal the wounded feminine aspects. So the moon cycle really, either the new moon or the full moon, really affects your emotions, and it's allowing all your dark feminine aspects, your wounded feminine, to rise up, to be cleared and healed. This is part of the process of healing your feminine energy. It's all about releasing these wounded aspects of ourselves, and this is what we're doing when we go through this feminine healing process. We are really healing that wounded feminine, right? And so the moon energy is amplifying this for us, and it's really allowing us to heal on that deeper level. And this is exactly what is happening during this process and during the moon cycle. So you will feel like, I'm going crazy, like there's a lot of things coming up for you during either the new moon or the full moon. So take track of that, like take a journal and write down what's coming up for you. See if there's a pattern, see what, you're releasing, like what is it that you're actually healing on a deeper level, because it'll all be revealed to you during the moon cycles. For me, I was constantly feeling like PMS, like major PMS symptoms during the moon cycles, like during the new moon especially. I was feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm going through like another period basically. So this is really amplified during feminine healing, because it's allowing you to push out and heal that wounded feminine. It's really bringing that up to the surface. Okay, so number 9 is that you are being called to practice celibacy. And this is very important because during feminine healing, you are clearing and healing the womb space specifically. The womb space is really, where we hold our connection to other people, our sexual connections, and, the sacral chakra is really where, we get connected into other people's energies. And we really pick up a lot of our partner's energetic field when we have a partner and we exchange energy, especially sexual energy. So this really gets corded in. And when you're doing this feminine healing work, you're really asked to heal your womb space, clear past sexual partners, and really purify on that level where you don't have anything attached to you anymore. And so you will be feeling like you are clearing past partners, especially when you have like memories surfacing about them, or you may be releasing something to do with sexual partners, past partners. So this could be happening. And this was really what was happening with me, and I was feeling like I needed to isolate a lot. I needed to keep my energy to myself. I set the boundaries, and especially sexual boundaries. And we need to be mindful of who we're sharing our sexual energy with, and we have to have those sexual boundaries up, because the sexual energy is a very potent, very powerful energy. And like I said, you can get courted, and you can pick up on your partner's energetic field very easily. So make sure that you understand and be conscious of who you're sharing your sexual energy with, and not just like give out your sexual energy to everyone. And especially during this time, you are really called to be celibate, really called to just keep your energy to yourself, keep to yourself, and heal all the past sexual partners that you had, relationships. You're really letting that go and shedding that. So the last sign that you're being initiated into your feminine is that the universe is supporting you in magical ways. So this is really important, because the universe will support this journey in so many ways. And when you're being initiated into this journey, you will be supported with people, with situations, financially you'll be supported, to really do this inner deeper work. So you will be supported in this way. So the universe will really want to help you heal. And so with me, I was really like, at the beginning of my journey, I was really getting a lot of support from the universe. It was financial, it was people, it was a lot of support coming in to really help me on this journey, because you cannot be in your old environment doing the same thing and getting distracted. You really have to be, not doing a whole lot to do the energy healing work that you need to really shift. And so, sometimes you really have to go in and focus on doing the spiritual work. And this was me for a long time. I was so focused on just doing the spiritual work. That was all I was doing, but that was what I was called to do. That was part of my journey. That was like what I needed to do, what I needed to focus on. It's kind of like focusing on doing self-development work, like you're very focused, because this is self-development work, this is self-growth work, this is you shifting and healing all this baggage and letting go of all this density and trauma and all of that, and you're expanding energetically. And it takes really that focus, and the universe will support that, right? Like if you want to shift, if you want to up level, if you want to really go into higher levels of being, you really have to dedicate yourself to it, and the universe will really support that in every way. And you have to not get distracted with the old life that you had or the old people, and really take this time for yourself and invest in ways invest in yourself, whether that's time, whether that's expanding yourself in certain ways, investing in something that will allow you to grow, expand. This is the time for that. And this is what I had to go through, and the universe kept supporting me, and I didn't have a fear about, what was going to happen, what was not going to happen. I just knew that there was a divine plan unfolding, and there was a divine plan unfolding for me. And so I trusted that divine plan, and I followed that intuition, and I kept following that. And it was all fantastic, and it all turned out amazing, because it was meant to be that way. And I was supported throughout this process, and everything was unfolding in my favor. So, it's not about what your ego wants, it's about what your soul is here to gain, and what's your soul growth over your ego. And so you will have divine support to support your soul journey, and that's exactly what the universe will provide for you, is that support, that divine support for you to do your soul work and what you came here to do. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I hope that it helped you understand more of this process, more of this journey. And if you do resonate with this, if you are going through this, let me know where you are. What are the signs that really resonated with you on your journey? Which ones are you experiencing right now? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already liked the video, please like, because it really helps me with getting this content out for you and sharing more of my story, my knowledge, all about what I know. And yeah, I send you lots of love. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll speak to you in the next one.